If you're watching this video, it's probably because someone came and knocked on your door, said something along the lines of, hey, we got this brand new promotion going on right now, save money on your electric bill. Or maybe they're just trying to be outright and say, hey, you should get solar panels to save money. Or maybe one of your friends proposed the idea. Hello, I'm Ace Backer, and I used to sell solar panels door to door. Today, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about the solar panel presentation or anything that they haven't told you about, just because you don't have to sit down for the appointment for it, and I want to give you the information outright so you can understand everything that's going on. Now, when I used to sell solar panels door to door, I was hired as a canvasser. There's 3 components to buying solar panels in the United States of America. There's the sales team, which I was a part of, that go around knocking door to door and get people to sit down for appointments. There's the installer that actually installs the panels. And then there is the financer that finances the entire project and collects the money. When you hear about people saying that a solar panel company went out of business, they're more than likely talking about the sales company. Essentially what these people do is they come in, they take a look at your electric bill, they tell you, yeah, there's something that we can do here. They tell you they have to come back and get a specialist, sit down for an appointment. All they're really trying to do is help you refinance your electric bill. It's not compatible for everybody. Depending on whether you do a loan, you buy it in cash, or you do a lease. A lot of the times it's not worth it for your home depending on where you're at. So what happens is they will tell you that they will sit you down for a presentation and they need the spouse or other decision maker there because they're trying to sell you a solar panel system for your home to help you refinance your electric bill. These people can actually control the monthly payments, so they know based on your electric usage how much you're paying per kilowatt after they take a look at your electric bill. They show you a proposal of your electric projected usage that you could have with your solar panel system, and it normally is cheaper than your electric bill. And they'll tell you it's inflation proof, they'll tell you you'll save a bunch of money. From what I've seen, the biggest issue is customer service and transparency. The solar panel sales guys are there to just sell you a system, and you'll most likely never see them again because they just want to go and get more sales. It's their job, it's their life. They can't be hanging around forever, but honestly, it's terrible. I left the industry because a lot of people were just out for money, and I really want to provide a good customer service to my clients, but I couldn't do that because my manager above me would not allow it, and the manager above him would also not allow it, and the manager above him would also not allow me wasting my time attending to clients that we've already helped, while we walk away with thousands of dollars in commissions. The installer is the person who installs the system and actually services the panels if anything goes wrong or anything breaks. Normally, sometimes they do with the inverters that you have, depending on if you have Enphase or if you have Solar Edge. I think I've seen more issues with Solar Edge. I've met people that said they were able to claim their panels on their home insurance and actually got some expenses covered. Like the next time you have to replace your roof, you actually might get charged $5,000 to $10,000 to take them off and put them back on by the roofing company, which is terrible. I did not know that, but I did warn my clients ahead of time. And there's also the possibility that some of your panels might break in the future, but I did meet a lady who said that her home insurance bought her brand new panels when they did, because their panels are 15 years old. If you're doing a loan, they will push something about getting a tax refund or a tax credit. That's also dependent on your income, and more often than not, it just goes back to the loan balance, but it's also very difficult to get, because I've noticed some people don't make enough income to actually qualify for getting that refund or reimbursement back. So that's something else to consider if you're getting solar panels. Make sure you know about, they're not tax specialists, and sometimes they will just trying to make the sale because it's their job, it's their livelihood, and they have to pay bills. In the sales side, there's 2 people. There's the setter and the closer, and then, they have their managers above them. But the setter essentially goes around the neighborhood, knocking on doors, trying to meet people, trying to set appointments for the closer who comes in as the specialist, and he's the guy who shows you everything in the contract, tries to close down the deal, and get a commission. I know you probably have a lot of questions. Here's what's most likely going to happen when they come into your home and sit down. 1, they will be making small talk, trying to be your friend. That's a normal sales tactic. 2, they'll probably tell you about how all your neighbors have it and how you should get it too. It's the future and everybody's getting it except you. And 3, they're going to be very pushy with closing the deal. I think that the cheapest thing you can do is probably buy them in cash. The second best option would be to lease it. The third would be to get a loan. The loan interest rate might end up ruining the whole thing because the inflation proof, where it essentially stagnates or stabilizes your electric bill so you know what it's going to be every month, it also varies depending on your electric usage. Say you have a kid and he leaves the house, or someone else moves into the house. This could drive your electric usage up or down. And sometimes you might be overpaying for a kilowatt system, but obviously they don't care about that. There are some good solar representatives out there, but they have to be able to show you all the transparent information. Not every home is compatible for solar depending on the shading, depending on the roof space, and or ground space, because you could also do a ground mount in your yard, but that's also a whole nother thing. I want you to understand something. The solar consultants that are knocking on your door right now nowadays are just kids. The majority of them are fresh out of high school or never went to college and don't know anything about the realm of finance. I have a finance degree, so I know a thing or two. But the majority of these guys don't understand a single thing about financing, taxes, or anything along the lines of refinancing. You'll hear complaints about people changing their numbers, no longer working with the company, and that's the majority of the time it's the sales company. The financier is supposed to guarantee the warranties because the majority of the time when the contract is null and void, that means, or the companies go bankrupt, that means that the contract becomes null and void. There was one time I tried to help someone with his solar panel system because he was having issues with like his battery and the system wasn't turning on or it wasn't working. And I was on the phone with him calling his financier because that was the only person available. The sales reps were bankrupt or gone, and the installation company was bankrupt or gone. The financier is the person that's supposed to outsource the jobs and services if anything goes wrong because they're the last line of defense for guaranteeing the contract. If not, it becomes null and void, and at that point you should get a lawyer because, and I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that if the two companies guaranteeing the contract are bankrupt and there's still someone collecting the check, that person collecting the check should be the person servicing the system. It's their loss and or it's their fault for joining that partnership. Obviously, over the phone, they're not going to admit to that, but the majority of the time, I mean, come on. I mean, if they're still collecting the check and your system's no longer working, you shouldn't be paying for that. Something I do want to stress to you guys is that you can say no. A lot of people have trouble saying no, and they will, the majority of the time, use sales tactics that they've trained us in, like repeating the last word you said as a question, just to get you edging on to saying yes and yes and yes to an agreement. Something huge I've seen when people are taking out a loan for solar panels is that their offset, make sure that you understand the offset presented to you in a contract, because sometimes you don't qualify for enough financing to get the entire solar panel system your house needs. And sometimes some people will get like a 50% offset or a 40% offset, but you're paying thousands of dollars, meaning that the 40% offset will only cover 40% of your electric bill, meaning that you'll still have 60% of your electric bill and a new payment of solar panels here. Sometimes there's solar representatives that really bump in their commission into that financing so you don't qualify for all those solar panels, because the more commission and the more balance they charge you, the more they get paid. And sometimes, more often than not, if they give you too many solar panels at a low price, they'll lose on their commission and it won't be worth it for them. So that's something you have to understand. And I'm exposing all the secrets today, but I also want people to understand that I've seen so many people get or feel like they got scammed, but they just had a question that could change everything. Now, I'm in the state of Texas. Here we get enough sunlight. The majority of the homes get enough sunlight for solar. The electric guys in charge here are Encore and ERCOT. And when you get solar panels in some certain areas, and some areas are banned from getting solar panels because they don't qualify, but you have to make sure that you're switching to the correct electric provider that has a solar production buyback program. After you get your solar panels installed, a lot of people don't know for months if their solar panel system is working or not. The solar panel company will actually send you an email to turn on your solar panel system after they've gotten the approval from the city that you're approved to turn them on. And what sucks about this is people don't check their emails. For my clients, I helped a lot of them turn it on, or I went and turned it on myself. But the majority of people go months without knowing if their solar panel system is working or not, and the bills come around and they're paying an electric bill and they're also paying a solar panel bill, and they don't know why. But it's also because their solar panel system could not be turned on, and you have to turn it on yourself. That's right. It's just, I believe you just have to turn maybe 2 switches, maybe the inverter, and then actually turn your power on for the solar panel system. But a lot of the times it's out of, kindness for the solar panel representative to actually come and do it, or someone from the company to come and do it, because people don't want to touch that stuff. But sometimes the installers are so busy, or they don't want to do it, that they don't want to waste the resources to actually turn that on for you. And it's kind of sad, but you should double check and make sure your solar panel system is on. You didn't get that email that says turn on your solar panel system. Now they just send you a set of instructions. I thought that was so rude, charging people $50,000, $60,000 and you can't even turn on the system for them, and they go months without knowing, and then you're off to a bad start. If you didn't change your electric provider at all after you got solar panels, they're not going to buy back your solar panel production. And more oftentimes than not, you'll end up paying two bills again. And you'll be thinking that you got scammed, but there's a process to having solar panels. The companies normally do a free inspection on your roof to make sure they can be installed. They go through the installation process and the signing forms contract with you. Then they go and sign forms through the city, and then they put the actual panels on your roof. Then they have to wait to get the get-go from the city. And after that, they make sure that the panels are actually producing. You can monitor it with an app. But the electric provider also has to be in your area purchasing that solar panel production to make sure that you're actually offsetting your electric bill if you're trying to save money with it. There's some people that want to reduce their carbon footprint, and then if you're overall just trying to reduce your carbon footprint, I get it, I understand. But the solar panel system doesn't come with a battery. You have to buy a battery separately, and normally it's around $15,000. If you're looking at 4 people in your home, you might need a system that's around like $40,000 for just the solar panels, aside from the battery. And that's just something, just so you know, that's financed over 25 years. Normally comes out to be cheaper than your electric bill, but they also include like a rate, naturally, an increasing rate every year. And if you guys have any questions, I mean, I might cover more in the next video, or in a video where I tackle people that already have solar panel systems and can't get a hold of anybody, because this was such a big issue. It bothered me. It left a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm trying to see if I forgot anything. You do have time to cancel the contract before the installation. You can cancel anytime before the installation. Even if they show up at your door, you can say, no, I don't want it, and send them away. And it's something definitely to think about, because if you're already on a financial struggle, you shouldn't be getting solar panels. They're not worth it in case some servicing comes up or you have to change your roof, just because it could be a very expensive servicing. And if you try to make a claim on your home insurance, there's no guarantee it'll happen, but I've seen it happen with people. And overall, the process is it's just all about communication and customer service and getting some answers. Because some people, there was a guy I met who his solar panel system was on for about 1.5 years, and he was still getting 2 bills, and he didn't know why, and he was furious, obviously, when I came and I met him. And then I asked him if he ever switched his electric provider to someone that actually buys back solar panel production, and the look on his face was so confused, and it explained everything. And I explained to him, he brought me his electric bill, and I explained to him that there's electric providers in the area that actually buy your solar panel production. You have to switch to those companies first. And the look on his face, he was so sad. He already had a lawyer, and he was just done. He was just done with the whole mess, and I felt really terrible for him, because they put holes on his roof already. They locked the system, and especially when you take out a loan, you never know what they can do to repossess some assets, and it's just a dangerous game if you don't understand what you're getting into. And that's where it's just sad sometimes, and I felt like I had to make this video for a couple of you guys out there. If you do have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll answer them in another video, or I'll answer them in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you guys smash a like on this video so more people can see it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more finance.